All right, let's jump right into this explainer of a story that just perfectly nails the blend of creeping supernatural tension and tragic romance. The source text we are exploring today sets an incredibly cinematic stage right from the get-go. Picture this. The small, isolated town of Ashwood. It's trapped under these heavy, dark clouds, and the rain literally hasn't stopped for 3 solid days. The streets? Completely empty. The whole town just feels totally abandoned, drenched in this soft rain and a really unsettling silence. You can almost feel that eerie midnight atmosphere already, right? It's basically the ultimate moody backdrop for digging up some deeply buried emotional secrets.
And stepping right into this bleak, gray landscape is our main character, Emma Collins. She literally just came from her grandmother's funeral, which, is a massive emotional weight to carry all on its own. We've all felt that overwhelming heaviness of grief at some point. But imagine pairing that with walking into a dark, towering, abandoned mansion in the middle of a thunderstorm. She's completely alone, vulnerable, and walking into a place packed with generations of history and unseen pain. For Emma, this isn't just moving into a new house. It's a sudden plunge into the unknown right when her emotional defenses are completely shot. Now, what makes this narrative so incredibly gripping right out of the gate is how the townspeople are used to build this immediate sense of dread. Multiple people in Ashwood gave Emma the exact same highly specific warning. Don't stay there after midnight. It wasn't just a vague, oh, be careful out there. It was a strict, hard deadline. Have you ever tried to just rationalize away a terrible gut feeling? Because that's exactly what Emma does here. She plays the classic, rational, modern protagonist and just naively brushes it off. She actually laughs. To her, these are just silly old stories, superstitious nonsense from a sleepy town. She literally can't fathom that a warning repeated that many times might actually be a rule for survival. So as Emma turns the key and pushes open that heavy front door, the author drags us right into this suffocating atmosphere with her. The interior isn't just visually dark, it feels genuinely oppressive. Every single piece of furniture in every room is draped in these ghostly white sheets, making the whole place look like some kind of indoor graveyard. And the air is just thick. It smells like old wood, heavy dust, and what the text beautifully calls forgotten memories. It's that specific phrase, forgotten memories, that really tips us off. There's a tragic love or some unresolved emotional history just waiting to be uncovered beneath all that dust. As Emma is wandering through these completely silent hallways, she notices old family photos still hanging on the walls, kind of just staring down at her. And this brings us to a seriously unsettling discovery. She stops dead at one picture in particular. It's of a little girl holding a porcelain doll, but someone has violently scratched out the little girl's face. Okay, this isn't just a spooky little detail to set the mood. It's our first major clue. It tells us that some deeply personal, probably tragic emotional event completely tore this family apart. It's this moment of creeping horror, but it also screams of a profound sorrow, or maybe even a crime of passion, hidden in her family's past. Right, well, Emma is distracted by this messed up photograph. The tension spikes into a massive jump scare. Out of absolutely nowhere, this old woman from the neighborhood appears right outside the window. Her face is dead pale, and she looks absolutely terrified. Through the glass and the pouring rain, she whispers just one single urgent sentence. Burn the doll before midnight. It's such a striking moment, isn't it? We've got our second warning now, but we've escalated from a passive, don't stay, to an active, frantic command to destroy something before it's too late. Startled, Emma immediately throws open the front door to confront the woman, to demand what she means by that. But she's gone, completely vanished back into the soft rain and echoing thunder as fast as she appeared. Literally, all that's left to prove she was even there are these muddy footprints on the porch, just slowly washing away in the storm. I mean, what would you do in her shoes? You're miles from home, alone in the dark, and your only visitor just vanished into a thunderstorm after giving you a terrifying ultimatum. The isolation here is just absolute. The suspense here is so masterfully done because the text actually forces us to sit through the agonizingly slow passage of time right alongside Emma. After the woman vanishes, Emma starts this meticulous search of the massive house. You can literally feel the hours dragging by. Through the afternoon and straight into the evening, she searches room after room, pulling off white sheets, opening closets, and finding absolutely nothing unusual. And honestly, the mundane nature of this search just pulls the tension tighter and tighter. Finally, as night completely falls, her search leads her to the one place she hasn't checked yet, the attic. Hidden away in the deep shadows of that attic, tucked behind this old wooden chair, she finally finds it. It's a stunning porcelain doll.
And the physical description in the text here is incredibly specific and visually striking. The doll has long, flowing black hair, piercing blue glass eyes, and pale porcelain skin, all dressed in this pristine white vintage dress. It looks totally perfect, like it hasn't been touched by the attic dust at all. But there's a catch. It has this innocent but really uncomfortably haunting expression. Its face looks strangely alive, which adds this crucial piece to the emotional mystery we're unraveling. Looking closer, Emma notices this small, weathered tag hanging around the doll's porcelain neck. It just reads, "My name is Lily." Now, rather than being totally repulsed or terrified by this creepy discovery, especially after that old woman's frantic warning just a few hours ago, Emma actually has a completely unexpected reaction. She smiles. She actually feels drawn to it, admiring it, like it's just a beautiful antique. This is a massive moment of dramatic irony for us. Emma's emotional reaction is our first real hint of the supernatural attachment happening here. She clearly feels some inexplicable, tragic connection to the doll.
Okay, so here is the absolute turning point in the narrative. In a move that pretty much seals her fate for the night, Emma picks Lily up and actively carries the doll downstairs right into the main living space of the house. She just leaves her sitting neatly on the living room sofa. By bringing Lily downstairs, Emma isn't just ignoring the frantic warning of that terrified old woman, she is quite literally inviting the ghost of the past into the heart of her present. She didn't burn the doll, she welcomed it into the home.
And then the waiting begins. The author shifts our focus entirely onto the soundscape of the house. The rhythmic beating of the rain against the dark windows, the heavy mechanical ticking of a grandfather clock out in the hallway. The house is pitch black, with only the flickering lights from the storm outside, and the clock is just ticking closer and closer to the dreaded hour. The text slows the pacing way, way down to mark the exact arrival of midnight. 12 a.m., the exact minute the townspeople and the old woman warned her about. The atmosphere in the room just becomes incredibly heavy, suffocatingly still. Right as the clock strikes 12, the absolute silence of the abandoned mansion shatters. But not how you think. A soft, eerie sound starts echoing through the dark, empty hallways. This is where the story brilliantly subverts all our expectations. I mean, we expect a monster's growl, right? A creaking floorboard, or some demonic laugh. But instead, we're hit with this profound, heartbreaking sorrow. It's the sound of someone weeping. Real emotional crying, bouncing off the old wooden walls. In an instant, the narrative shifts from a standard ghost story into a beautiful, unfolding tragedy. Let's basically walk down that hallway with her as she investigates the sound. Step 1, she eases her bedroom door open, stepping out into the pitch-black corridor. Step 2, she inches forward, guided entirely by this sorrowful weeping. With every single cautious, floorboard-creaking step she takes, the crying grows louder, more distinct, and just deeply mournful. Until finally, step 3. The terrifying journey ends because the sound just abruptly stops. She finds herself completely frozen, standing right outside the entrance to the living room, just staring into the dark. Emma slowly peers into the living room, looking over toward the sofa where she had safely placed the antique doll hours ago. And boom, we are hit with a massive, chilling twist. Lily is no longer sitting on the sofa. Instead, the doll is standing upright on the floor. And she is turned completely around. She is facing Emma. This is literally the ultimate violation of safety in horror writing. The inanimate object has claimed its own agency, totally shattering the bounds of reality and plunging the story into pure supernatural territory. But wait. The author doesn't just leave us with a cheap jump scare. As Emma stares in absolute shock at this standing doll, she notices its face, and this visual totally shatters the horror and replaces it with profound empathy. 2 tiny, real tears are slowly rolling down Lily's pale porcelain cheeks. It's such a brilliantly written moment because it forces Emma, and us as the audience, to stop seeing a monster and to start seeing a victim. The doll is experiencing deep human sorrow. It makes us rethink literally everything we thought we knew about this haunting. And the source text ends right there on a massive cliffhanger. Just to be continued. It leaves us with this unforgettable, emotional image of a crying, living doll and a terrified protagonist locked in a stare right at the stroke of midnight. It feels exactly like a Hollywood supernatural romance with a huge final reveal begging the ultimate question, what will Emma do next? Is she going to run from the supernatural out into the stormy night? Or will she stay to uncover the heartbreaking love story trapped inside this porcelain shell?
It's an incredibly crafted mystery that proves the scariest ghosts are sometimes just broken hearts. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I highly recommend diving into the source material yourself to see exactly where those shadows lead.